Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off. Right in front. Another chance. Backhand score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air to Hall of Fame career. 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
Second and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Is this ready? Oh, we're here. Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in the municipal building of Bethel Park. Thank you for watching our show on Comcast 21, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching our show on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and the greater Pittsburgh area. Thank you all for watching us on the live streaming on YouTube. We need to get past that 150 mark, so if you can switch to YouTube and just put a little subscribe in there, we're good. To all of you, our loyal fans on Pittsburgh Sportsline live stream, hello, good evening, and get out the vote right now. All of you watching, you can run, all except Smoking Jim. He says he hasn't missed an election. He didn't say he voted. So please get out there. The polling places close at 8 o'clock.
Did you just say?
I voted on my way here.
Okay, I voted.
Did you just say thanks everybody for watching, but don't watch, go vote?
No. No. I was saying, looking at him laughing about Election Day, please get your votes in. Sorry for that faux pas.
Although, hey, now that we're on YouTube and Facebook, you really theoretically could listen in your car while you drove to the polls and watch while you're in line. So there you go.
Whoa. Yeah, and even on Facebook, too, if you have
Exactly,
internet.
Facebook and YouTube, exactly.
So all you live streamers, if you haven't voted like Smoking Jim didn't, you can go out and vote. Please go out and vote. I don't care who you vote for. We just have the right to vote. If you don't want to vote, just pay your taxes, and I'm cool with that. You can argue about whatever you want, but unlike Smoking Jim, you can't argue about anything political with me, and he doesn't pay taxes. All right, we got that. Ann Harder, thanks for watching it, Grandma. Voted this morning. Patty Hewity's watching. Peggy Rohde's watching, and you got to tell me if Nick's watching. You got your grandson and son in the control room, so they got it all under control. We appreciate it. For all of you that have liked Facebook, we appreciate being around 7,000 likes. So keep doing that, and any new friends that want to like it, I won't refuse a like. So carry on with that. Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Smoking Jim Frazier dressed like it's a winter day. I was out there, it was 66 degrees. Like spring. We had a nice fall day in Pittsburgh. If you're complaining about the weather like we do every day, couldn't do it today, except maybe a little bit of cloudiness, but it was pretty sunny. All right, we got Chip Hayner here. He's only got one more show to do before he gets his knee transplant again. He's going in November 27th, Smoking Jim.
You got a white doctor?
We don't talk about that. Disclaimer, Smoking Jim's a black man and he's not a racist, and whatever he says, we don't agree with anything he says here.
Actually, he's not.
Wow.
All right, Jamie Minu's watching. Thank you for watching. And that's all I can see right now. Raina Walls and Teresa Mariano's watching. Thank you for watching. And somebody got their flu shot. Oh, Amy, you're behind. I got my flu shot, my pneumonia shot, my RSV shot, and my COVID shot because of me being compromised with my anti-remission drugs. I'm at high risk, even though blood and urine labs are perfect, and some people say I look good. So it won't go to my ego. Brandy Harder Mariano is one of our newest fans. She made a special appearance a couple weeks ago when her son, he's 14 now. Michael's 14. So thank you for watching. Amy voted this morning. Okay, thanks for getting there. Brandy says hi to everyone. Great job, Michael. There's nepotism at its best. Smoking Jim calls Nick VIP, you know, one of my relatives, but we just grew up in Green Tree separately.
Uncle Al.
And you knew his mom.
Well, She had my business card because she must have watched you yelling at Sips and heard that.
We're at the bank. At the bank.
All right, we got to go to our promos. Enough on this intro. We went about 7 minutes in here getting it straightened out. But we're going to go to our promos in 10 seconds right now. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. The Hillcrest Christian Academy yearbook team is looking to fundraise through advertising. They want to give students the ability to have full-color pages with everything they need to remember this chapter of their lives. If you're interested in supporting Hillcrest Christian Academy and capturing priceless moments and highlighting student achievement, please advertise with the yearbook team. Pricing is listed right here. Payments can be made directly to the Hillcrest Christian Academy School. For more information, send a message to their email. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. Still up. All right. Peggy just sent me a message during the promos. Thank you for watching all the promos. Officer Crawford, we heard last week. Thank you, Ann, for telling us that he got a kidney, or he's getting a kidney this month. So I'll reach out to him and his family. Glad he got a kidney. Peggy says, looking forward to an exciting show. Nick and Peggy Rohde from Rochester, New York, with all your fans. All right, Brandy's interacting. I actually missed the first few minutes of the show. Oops. Brandy, we know you don't even like sports. You're allowed. Thanks for watching now. All right, a longtime friend of mine, Keith Appenrott, he's watching from Nashville, Tennessee. He's a big sports guy. He does fantasy football. He can out-talk any one of us. That's what he knows. He grew up in Brentwood.
Really?
Yeah. All right, Tim.
Good things come out of Brentwood.
Yeah, Tim Davis, our man, father of Colleen Chaos Davis. Shout out to you. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we got to do What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
I got it.
you got to see Levine. I tell you
Thank you.
what, man. Question I want to know is who won the Battle of the Band Friday night? I already know who won on the field. I believe Bethel Park won the Battle of the Band.
Hold it, disclaimer. Drew and I are watching football scores Friday night, and we see Gateway 51-6. No, they had 6 points. Drew,
Gateway lost 35-31.
oh, was it 35? Sorry. Yeah, sorry. That was
35-31.
some other
They
score of
still
a
came up
local
with the short
school.
end of the stick.
Yeah.
You know, the referees got the best of Gateway, but I can say this. It's no shame to be one and done. It's better to be none and done with 51-6.
I had a.
Hey, I voted today. Hell,
Where's your little? Hold it.
I had a little
Hold it.
sticker. I had a little
Where
sticker.
is the sticker?
It wasn't sticky. It wasn't sticky. But hey, I voted. Monroeville Police Department.
Why didn't they keep you?
Yeah. Hey, Hell Levine, the talking machine. I got a trivia question for you guys.
Okay.
You won't get it, so you can take the majority of the show to get it. The Chicago Bears have 4 Hall of Fame middle linebackers. And if you can name them, Al Levine, the talking machine, that'll be good. So let that marble roll around your
I'll
head.
Google that.
I told you guys before. I said, and I took a lot of heat last year. I said, George Pickens could never play for me. He's a diva. He'll be a cancer in the locker room. I was right again. I told Nick, and I'll accept your apology whenever. Nick kind of questioned me because on the fan, they get insiders, national and locally, and all the insiders said Dan Moore would move to right tackle. I said, my sources told me Dan Moore said he would never play nothing but left tackle. I'm right again. Al Levine, the talking machine, where I was right and where I was wrong. Where I was right, L. Levine, the talking machine, I said before the season,
This sounds like the Almanac's talking, not so much.
I said before the season that Green Bay Packer quarterback Jordan Love will have a better season than Aaron Rodgers. So I was right. Where I was wrong, and Marco and Mikey, where I thought I was wrong, I said that Joey Porter Jr., I would trade him for a 5th-round pick or a warm 6-pack. I said he would hurt the team more than help. Let's see what he did the last game. His late defensive holding penalty was actually the 4th flag he had drew that night. He was also flagged for being offsides and a face mask penalty while attempting to make a tackle and for illegal use of his hands. Again, where I thought I was wrong, I was right.
Mr. Negative.
Who won the game?
There we go.
Mr.
There we go.
Who won the
Just
game?
like Nick can't give me credit, and
Pick
I
me.
love Nick.
Pick me. Pick me before Al.
The guy that's down 35 pounds.
Oh, thank you, Joel. Would you rather win ugly or lose with good play?
I'd rather win or lose without any porters in the stands
You
or
picked-
on the field.
You picked an option I didn't give you. Okay, very good.
The guy, the purple passion.
Thank you. One of my favorite colors, not the team.
Oh,
We won't go there. My disclaimer is we talked last week that young Joey Porter's a handsy guy.
Yes, sir.
And who was he shadowing the whole game? Hopkins. You would say he's a pretty good receiver.
He's great.
He shut him down the second half. And then he did make a tackle when a guy was diving for the ball, and he tackled him on the play. He got the tackle. And we know he was handsy from Penn State.
And that's one more than Dion had.
Yeah, that's what I said, Chip, last year. I said he has one more tackle than Deion Sanders had in a Hall of Fame career. So
I have a question for you, if I may. Would you rather win a game or lose a game to the team that paid the refs better?
all right, we're going to move on. Thanks, Smoking Jim. You were entertaining as usual, and I can't hear out of my left ear. Again, this is like 12 years of this. What's on your mind, Chip?
What's on my mind? To touch on the George Pickens story, and I do believe that the story was blown way out of proportion. So you got a 22-year-old child who didn't get his way, so he had a temper tantrum. How that's a story is beyond me. I mean, this happens every day in people's homes. Child doesn't get what he wants. But what I found most amusing today was with Mike Tomlin's press conference, and this seemed to strike a nerve with most of the media. That he made a comment regarding how they make a mountain out of a molehill,
Right.
so to speak. And I just find it so funny that people that feel that they get paid to criticize everybody and everything that they say or do get so butthurt when somebody criticizes them or tries to bring out the
Chip, you are
foolishness of
spot on.
some of their comments. So listening to it today, when I heard Tomlin's comment, I almost fell out of the truck laughing. I just thought it was hilarious. And then of course they interrupt the programming so they go start defending themselves. And here's the thing that I take exception to. A lot of people seem to think that they're entitled to know what goes on inside the organization. So say, for example, the Pittsburgh Steelers. George Pickens is an employee of the Pittsburgh Steelers. His boss is Mike Tomlin. If any discipline needs to be meted out, that's between Mike Tomlin and George Pickens
Sure.
and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's not for public knowledge. I work for a company where I have employees that need to be disciplined
Yeah.
from time to time, and that's done in private. That's nobody else's business. And the fact that people feel that they're entitled to know how he's being disciplined or why he's being disciplined, I just find it kind of curious because, you know what? They don't owe anybody an explanation about anything.
You do lawn care, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if, like, 75% of your yards are only cut halfway.
Well, we don't cut grass, so
Or lawn care, like
He
if you,
sprays.
If you only sprayed and protected half of somebody's yard, 75% of the time,
Well, you said half.
would you expect people to be upset and to want to know what is wrong?
Great question.
well, and to answer your question, I would address the problem privately, and I would handle the problem. I wouldn't go out and make it, the whole
Right,
world's business.
but the Steelers lose 2 of 7 last season, or 2 of 9 last season,
Okay.
right? Or sorry, they lose 7 of their first 9.
Yeah, they were 2 and 7.
That's like most of the time somebody not protecting you not protecting people's yards most of the time. We as consumers want answers because we're paying to be at games.
Yeah, you're paying to be at games. You're not entitled to answers. You can ask questions, but just because you ask a question doesn't mean you have to be given an answer. You know?
You'd have to ask them more specifically.
You know,
You'd have to say.
I understand what you because and I'm not criticizing you, Nick.
And I'm not
I'm not-
criticizing your line of work. I'm sure you all do wonderful.
No, and I don't-
Hypothetically
And
speaking.
I don't take it that way. but just
This is too
here's
funny.
what I have to say: if you're going to constantly criticize and mock and ridicule people for the things that they say and do, when people bite back, if you're man enough to dish it out, you should be man enough to take it. So if you get some criticism, and I get criticism every single day of my life, okay, because I am the complaint department. I get criticism, and I acknowledge the criticism, I accept it, and I try to move forward learning from it instead of defending myself like I'm right, I'm entitled, this is my obligation to be the purveyor of this information.
Here, let
Maybe
me
it's
let
just
me be
because
the
I look at things a little bit different.
let me be the man in the middle here. Nick makes a good point. You pay for games and watch them. You want to see good results. You want to see good play. But our eye test shows they're not playing well. With a lawn, all right, I have dandelions. I don't get my yard sprayed. But when I did get my yard sprayed, if I had dandelions, what would you do? You would solve the problem.
Because I get this
And you
all the
would
time.
talk to me. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because
Well,
how do you handle it? And then I want to,
Well, what is more important,
yeah,
assigning blame to somebody or correcting the
solving the
problem?
problem. That's my point to this.
Okay, because see, I think we waste too much time trying to find out. Okay, whether we're watching basketball, football, hockey, whatever.
Soccer.
Somebody does something dumb. We all want to assign blame to somebody. It's his fault. Well, you know what? Things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I deal with it in my business all the time.
Right.
People say I paid to have this treatment done,
Right.
and this happened to my yard. Why?
Well,
And
well, here.
So my answer to the question, in a lot of times, is like, okay, why does the sun come up in the east?
Yeah.
I mean, there are questions. In a perfect world, everything you say and everything you do and everything you pay for, you get exactly what you pay for. Well, we don't live in a perfect world. Things happen sometimes, and what you do is you find out what is the problem, what do I need to do to fix it.
Well,
that's
you just talked to an expert, and you would consider a guy been in here 17 years to be an expert on football, right?
Yes.
Okay, he told you what an expert in his field does. Tomlin shows us what an expert in our field does, brings up reality show. And you guys are the media trying to do this. So guess what that is? I've been saying since he's been here, I'm not a racist or anything else, but he's arrogant, and he knows he has good verbiage. He reads a dictionary, and he puts it out there, and he's talking down to the media all the time. People that ask a serious question get a deflection.
Right.
And that's what he does,
Only
deflect.
the local media.
No.
He's different
No,
than
national,
And here,
you listen to
Because
him
the
on,
national media doesn't trash him the way the local media does.
no, they
That's
honor
the
him.
reason why.
They honor him.
Constantly.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's kind of like that thing too, where like if you've got a bad business and there's bad business going on, you're gonna gossip about it to people. You're gonna talk. Word's gonna spread that this business isn't good, and discussion's gonna be had.
Now
and
you're on
changes
the
might
right
be
path.
made. Right, but the only difference is in sports, there are people who get to transmit their thoughts to over
Instantly.
signals to people, and that's really what it is. There's discussion points get brought up because we want to be asking the right questions. So if something goes wrong, if the Steelers don't play well, you want to ask the right questions to understand if you really want to make that investment in that product that may or may not be working. And if so, if the Steelers aren't getting a return on investment, they're going to make changes, and that's why we have these discussions.
All right, here's my question to you. He put up what he does. Tomlin did what he does. What is the right question to ask when you have a guy get five attempted passes, has 2 catches for -1 yards, and he got talent off the charts? So what question would you ask when that resulted on social media that he was upset and got rid of his Instagram, then got it
The
again?
first question that comes to my mind is, how in the world can you be so upset after your team wins?
Okay.
I think that's an important question.
That's what
and
I'm
this
asking
You're
you.
getting a preview of VIP time as well, because I was going to address this, but
No, it just
You know
came
what,
up. No, I wanted to have this
And
discussion.
That is a very valid point, okay? Because, here's what at the end of the day, they won the game. Now, what needs to happen to this young man is that somebody needs to sit him down, and that would probably be the coaches of the team or even the leaders of the team,
They don't have
whoever
that.
they might be, okay? And in private, say
they're
to him,
looking for
"Look,
one."
Listen, you know what? You can't
Cool it.
continue to behave this way. This is bigger than just yourself.
Sure.
We live in a me first society right now.
Well, yeah.
And I understand in a way George Pickens, he wants to be
We're kissing
one
his
of the-
butt and get rid
no,
of
he
him.
wants to be that guy that gets $100 million contract.
I wouldn't say that.
But he's never going to get it. You can take all the potential in the world. Look at what all the potential in the world did for Latavius Bryant. He's been out of the league for forever.
That wasn't
he's
his
out with
fault, though. That's a
Dallas today.
whole nother.
But yeah, no, but
That's
he
a
could have.
whole nother discussion.
That can of worms.
That's true. That's true.
He could have been great.
That's true.
But you know what? He was very selfish, and he was going to do what he was going to do, and he hurt himself in the process.
Good point.
You know?
Very good.
Okay,
so,
then-
So I mean,
then here-
so
then-
somebody needs to tell this young man. It's what, David?
Didn't Heinz
Okay,
Ward
you
give
need
him
to grow up.
advice?
Here's
Heinz
another,
Ward
grow
gave
up.
him advice.
here's another relevant
Pickens.
question that I ask, right?
Yeah.
Because the Steelers have had 3 consecutive top receivers now
The
that have been
Georgia boys.
upset. So I guess a relevant question in the Tomlin era would be, why does this keep happening? It's been 6 years now since Antonio Brown's been a menace and Juju Smith-Schuster tick-tocked on the logos of opponents to frustrate them, and then now
Claypool.
George Pickens is unfollowing the team after a win. So when Tomlin gets asked questions, it's also got to be about, why does this keep happening? That's another relevant question to ask.
No, it's real simple. It's TOMLIN.
Right, and when we're talking about businesses, sometimes discipline can be held in private, but if the same things keep happening over and over again that result in not great results, people deserve to continue to ask those questions and ask for change,
Sounds
or
like
else the
insanity.
business isn't going to be had. So I think that,
Why do you think George Pickens is frustrated?
I don't care, to be honest with you.
know,
They won.
okay.
That's not.
Yeah, you know what, and that's the thing.
If I could be hired as the coach, if I could be hired as the coach of the Steelers, I mean, I'd love to make that money and do that, but I don't have those answers. That's why I'm not.
The people that are making assumptions as to why he's acting the way he's acting, none of them have spoken to George Pickens. So that's one of the points that I find most interesting of it.
Chip, I did
You
hear.
don't go to the source. I go to the source when I try to find a problem.
I listened to a lot of different sources, not just our local ones, but I heard Heinz Ward made a comment that it's not about you.
Right.
It's about the team. Heinz Ward did that. Then I heard another comment before about George Pickens. I forget whether it was on TV, ESPN, or whatever. And they said he had these issues in Georgia. And he talked about a couple of his frustration things. And he said, it was bothering me what people were saying on the field, so I reacted to it. Then whoever was talking about it, well, this was in Georgia in college. Now he's doing it now. Can he mature a little bit?
That's my
And
point.
that's your.
He
I
needs
wanted to
grow up.
clarify your point.
Somebody needs to sit him down and tell him, look, you've got an opportunity in front of you right now that you were blowing, okay? And you need to get
And
your
it's
head
a
out
lot
of
of
your butt,
money.
and you need to start making better decisions. And when he does and realizes the opportunities that he has, then, but right now he's just an immature child. That's
Right.
all he is.
What he should look at is Deontay Johnson. He's getting $18 million a year, and he only has 1 touchdown in 2 years. And he likes to get the ball thrown to him, but he has something called the dropsy disease. So he does drop a lot, but he does.
Let's also not gloss over the fact that the Steelers really don't have a quarterback right now.
Okay.
They've got somebody that plays quarterback, but he doesn't do it well.
All right, I don't always see it, but Amy asked a couple questions. First one, we can't ask Smoking Jim who he voted for because he does not. Second question, Chip, when is your next knee surgery?
November 27th,
That's a Monday.
after Thanksgiving.
And Chuck Chief McElroy's watching, so thanks for tuning in, Chief. We appreciate you. All right. I guess we're up at Nick VIP.
VIP time.
Yeah,
I'm getting
I
my
got.
popcorn ready. I'm getting my popcorn ready.
Not
for this
VIP
one.
time. We're still on
No,
what's on
this
your
is-
mind. We're still on
this
what's
is-
on your mind.
this
phase
So
of
we
is-
the
got a
show.
little sidetracked.
Yeah.
That was some good.
No, we
that
needed to get that out
no,
because
that was some
we're all
good
one.
back and
Yeah.
forth. I liked it.
Thank you. And we got Nick VIP Callis before they cut me off. VIP time is special, and Marco knows that.
Yes.
So what's up, Nick VIP Callis? What's on your mind?
Like half of what I want to talk about later was already discussed, but we'll get there in time.
Well, we all
um,
watch the same sports.
Yeah, we will. We'll get there. We'll get there. Life news. I've been announcing public address announcing South Fayette football for a little while, and through those connections, thank you. Yeah, it's good work. But through the connections there, I got to announce some of the girls and boys WPIL championships this past weekend at Highmark Stadium. So that was pretty fun.
Way to go!
What
So-
sport?
Soccer. Highmark Stadium soccer
Nice.
field, right? So,
Did you stay awake?
I do. Of course, I split.
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to offend all of you.
What?
No, soccer is one of the most worldwide watched sports, except for me.
No, now this was actually really cool. Two of the games,
Just had to say it.
two of the games that I was involved in announcing went to overtime, so it was pretty insane. And the last game we did ended at 9 o'clock because it went into penalty kicks. So you look like you know what I'm talking about. That's good.
No.
First time he
He
admitted it.
can't even lie about
He
it.
doesn't know. But yeah, so that was exciting over the
Who
weekend.
won?
I can't. South Fayette won girls and boys soccer, and then the last team was the Norwin Knights. They won. So those are the three games that I was involved in. So yeah, congratulations to them, and it was nice to see South Fayette win too, since I was affiliated with them, and their AD got me a connection to get me there, so that was pretty cool.
Another cousin.
Not quite, no. But nepotism, very good. So it's been 3 years running now. It actually has been 3 years running. Let's just sidetrack everything else I was about to talk about to just say that real quick. The first time you accused me of nepotism was November 24th, 2020.
Wow.
It's almost
That'll be 3
it's
years.
almost 3 years.
You'll have to buy a cake for my relative who's not related to me from Green Tree.
You got your son a cookie. You got your cousin a cookie. Yeah, 3 years ago. That's crazy. That's what's on my mind. That's just all over the place.
Hey,
Nepotism.
hey, Nick, your timing couldn't have been better. Somebody's mama, Maureen Callis, is watching. Then the ladies, when I said about soccer, Brandy, who's not a sports fan, said me too.
Oh.
Amy said me too.
Darn.
Ann Harder chimed in. She goes, soccer is much better than basketball.
Ooh, hot
And
take.
I gotta disagree.
Hot take.
My uncle was on the first pro basketball team in Pittsburgh called the Pittsburgh Raiders, 1945.
And didn't your dad officiate?
My dad officiated City League championship games in Western Pennsylvania for 30 years, and both of them are in the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. So no way did I want to play basketball, so I played baseball and football, and that's why I'm opinionated on that.
I just said
Thanks
I
for
had-
the prompt.
I had friends who played soccer in high school, and they didn't do like the other
I'm going to
mainstream
tell you
sports.
something.
So
I enjoy the World Cup every year, men's and women, and there is an art to
Oh, I
to
understand that.
soccer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what, these athletes are some of the best athletes in the world. I mean, they run constantly for 90 minutes. They don't, snap the ball and then stand around for a minute or two before they have the next play. They're running constantly, and they are some of the best conditioned athletes in the world.
Oh, I know
I
that.
think before the clock in baseball, it was a faster sport than that as well.
No comment. All right, Brandy came back. It's about voting for Smoking Jim, not soccer. LOL. Okay, we got that clarified. Wait, who's up next? I got to think. Man, we covered so many different subjects. It's tough being the three-ring leader of all these different rings here. So I'll try to think what's on my mind. First thing was about Tomlin and his arrogance. We got that out of the way.
I applauded it.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, of course.
Just my humble.
And none of the media who kowtows to him and then busts his balls all day long. But
They don't kowtow. They just bust.
okay,
They just bust.
all right, we got that covered. Then the other thing was, with the Steeler game and what we saw there, we always like the win. And I don't know about any of you, but this is the worst season I've had watching football, because now we got Kenny Clutch, fourth quarter Kenny, and that's the only time we get production. I just have one question. Why?
Good point.
So I'm done with that. We're going to go to Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac, 10 seconds right now. Marco's doing great.
From the desk of my
Thanks,
phone.
Al Levine, the talking machine. Listen, since nobody could get my trivia, I'll help
I
you
got
out.
two of them. Singletary and Butkus.
Singletary, Buckus, Urlacher, Brian Urlacher.
Oh, Urlacher.
And the very first one, Al Levine, the talking machine, may be the only one that may remember him. Bill George,
Whoa.
8-time Pro Bowler. The reason I bring it up, I did the Amani Waynesburg Central game, and Bill George is a Waynesburg Central alumni. And I go to Waynesburg a lot to see the Federal Pit. There's a Hardee's there too, huh? You ever visit the prisoners?
No.
No. Okay. All right, here we go. People wanted my top 10
No. We're done with
Nobody-
it.
in honor of Martavius Bryant being signed today by the Dallas Cowboys. That's breaking news.
Chip, wait, you missed it. We collected evidence that he had more than 10 on a list last week.
And, well, this is my last top 10 since y'all don't want it. This will be in honor
For
of
this
George
year.
Pickens, the greatest receivers in NFL history. Honorable mention, Jordan Addison. Had to put him in having such a great year.
Honorable mention. That's
10
one. of-
C, Michael Irving.
See.
10 B, Lance Allsworth, Bambi.
I remember.
10, number 10, Sterling Sharp. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
He was good.
How about number 9? One of the greatest I ever seen, John Stallworth. How about number 8? B, Raymond Berry. How about number 8? Antonio Brown, a.k.a. locker room cancer like
Mr.
George.
Big Chest.
like George Pickens.
Mr. Big Chest.
How about 7B? Got to put him in there. If you're white, you're all right. Don Hudson. Number 7, one of the greatest I ever seen, Fred Biletnikoff. How about number 6? Marvin Harrison. He got 2
Oh.
boys. His oldest son at Ohio State. His youngest son looks just like him. His oldest son looked more like Reggie Wayne. How about number 5? Lynn Swan. How about number 4B? Chris Carter. How about number 4? Larry Fitzgerald. You can't separate them. How about number 3? Terrell T.O. Owens. How about number 2? And L. Levine, the talking machine, and Chip can attest to this. Paul Warfield, one of the all-time greats. How about
Yeah.
1B? Jerry Rice, and the greatest I ever seen, Randy Moss. You just got Moss.
Hey, one honorable mention. We
Yeah,
all
Jordan
remember him.
Addison.
Roy Jefferson.
I should have had him. You're right. That's my favorite. Number 87.
Wasn't he great?
He was great.
You're
Punt
already over
return.
10, Adam. Go
That's
ahead.
all right. 20.
Sure.
Add him in
Yeah,
there.
put him.
Roy
What about
Jefferson.
Chris Collinsworth?
Roy Jefferson. Thanks, machine.
All right, we're going to move on. I knew I had a good one. Shout out to Ty Polk, one of the up-and-coming local Pittsburgh announcers.
sir. Yes,
He's
sir.
everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching us. All right, let's go to Chip's Trivia Time in 10 seconds.
Oh, well, it's good to be back in the seat and a little bit of trivia time. But I wanted to mention the passing of one of the college basketball's greatest head coaches. Bobby Knight passed away this past weekend. Indiana University, 3-time national champion and the last head basketball coach in Division I NCAA basketball to finish the season undefeated, the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people Didn't agree with his coaching style, but for the time that he was coach in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, he was able to get away with the things that he did. He would have been thrown out. And
First game.
suspended
First game.
First game. As a matter of fact, I tagged my friend Nicholas over here on a Facebook post. His mentor, Lanny Fratteri, is the gentleman that made the call on the occasion when Bobby Knight flipped out on the sidelines and threw a chair.
Really?
That game
Yeah.
was on
Across,
that game was on ESPN. He put that on his information list when we interviewed him during an announcing camp when I was in high school. We asked him about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, what a moment there.
and that was the man who Nicholas looks to as a mentor,
Sure.
his
Yeah.
professor
Nice guy.
when he was going to college. So next up, we got to make sure that we make an acknowledgement of something that a lot of people made criticisms about all year, saying that he wasn't worth the money that they paid him. And when you got to the end of the season and you saw what his numbers were, apparently he's worth more than the money that they're paying him. Brian Hayes, Pittsburgh Pirates, first Pirates third baseman to win a Gold Glove. And I heard somebody mention the other day on one of the shows that they feel that maybe he won the Gold Glove because, that he batted like 270 and he got 15 home runs. It has nothing to do with why you win a Gold Glove. You win a
It's
Gold
fielding.
Glove based on your performance in the field.
Smoking
with
Jim
defense.
learned something
So
new
what I
again.
wanted to do was
Again.
real quickly, and I'm not sure if this list is all of the Pittsburgh Pirate Gold Glove winners,
It's all of them.
but I will name a few of them that most of us will recognize the names. I've seen each and every one of these players play, so these are people that I've seen in my lifetime win Gold Gloves for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Roberto Clemente, number 1, 12 Gold Gloves in his career at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Next up, Bill Mazeroski.
Yeah.
8 Gold Gloves. Next up, Andrew McCutchen, believe it or not, 2 Gold Gloves in 2012, 2013. Dave the Cobra Parker.
Yeah.
He won 3 Gold Gloves with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I believe he may
Cincinnati.
have won 5 total. He won Gold Gloves in '85 and '86, and that was after he had snorted his way out of Pittsburgh.
The truth. The truth. You got to answer for the truth.
Wow.
Dave Parker won the Gold Glove 77 to 79 here in Pittsburgh. Next up, a guy who I met in 1990, and a funny little story that goes with this, Doug Drabeck.
Yeah.
Company I was
Great
working
pitcher.
for serviced his lawn, and I was talking to him in his driveway that year, and we got talking baseball and everything, and he was like, "Would you like an autograph?" And I said, "No. Do you want mine?" And we had a chuckle about it because I don't collect autographs. And
Neither do I, Chip.
Do you guys ever do black people's yards?
that isn't even worth the answer. Next up, Willie Stargell, and believe it or not, Willie Stargell was an all-star left fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He won his Gold Glove in 1971 as a first baseman. Jason Kendall, 1998, won a Gold Glove as a catcher. Barry Bonds, 3 consecutive Gold Gloves.
Say it loud.
1990, 91, and 92.
Woo!
And he still couldn't throw out Sid Bream at home plate. Jay Bell, 1993, as
Yeah.
a shortstop. And Neil Walker, and Neil's father passed just recently,
Yeah.
and our condolences go out to him and his family. He won a Gold Glove in 2012, and let's not forget
How Neil Walker
J.C. Stallings. Won
Yeah,
a Gold
catcher.
Glove 2 years ago, in 2020.
He parlayed that in the millions.
Well, he parlayed that into something, but he's playing for the Florida Marlins.
Yeah. Made
But,
some money.
This is just a.
They were
a
closer to
sample.
the playoffs than the Pirates were.
What's that?
They were a little closer to the playoffs than the Pirates were. That's not something to shake at.
No.
Good point. We're trying to carry on a little.
We're trying to carry on. So just a little acknowledgement of some of the Pirates
That's great.
Gold Gloves winners. Maybe one day I will go over some of the batting title holders for the Pittsburgh
We got a bunch
Pirates
of 'em.
over there. Actually, the only team with more
We're one of the top.
is,
Yeah.
is the Detroit Tigers.
I thought I had heard that.
After
Yeah.
reading that list makes me think that they do probably figure in the batting title a little bit into the Gold Glove because some of them guys you named.
Smoking
I
Jim.
can't
you-
tell if you're
Swing
being
a-
sarcastic.
could swing a good bat.
I've always held that sentiment too. They
Yeah,
might
thanks,
because they get
thanks.
more attention from
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
I actually know because a lot of the players I watched and collected their cards, and it said they won many batting titles.
Bubble
Many
gum?
guys, yes. The bubble gum was delicious, and I was great at flipping cards. I made tons of them.
You know,
Uh,
you know how many tens of thousands of dollars I ruined by taking baseball cards
Yeah.
and then a paper clip and sticking them on the spokes of my bicycle tires.
Wow.
All right, I gotta.
What a time.
You know we have interactions here, and Chief made a comment that didn't show up on my stream here, and it said he voted for Smoking Jim because he votes.
Thank you. Johnny did too.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
Brandy said me too, so that's who she was
Oh,
talking
thank you.
about. Then Amy said me too. I thought it.
might be in office.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is he couldn't even go into the office because he's not a registered Republican, Democrat, or even the vote. So we'd have Judge Arnone look into that one. Then Varmint Squad is on. That's Bill Boyce. He said, looking great, guys. Then Brandy brought this point up, and it's about her son. Speaking of Kutch, he signed a ball for Michael at a game.
Oh man.
That is awesome.
Oh, that's
That is
great.
awesome. Hang on to that.
Yeah, so
Hang on to that.
for not being a sports lady, she come in strong today on this show. We'll have to write the
Maybe
day
next
down.
week Mikey can sit next to McCutch in the stands.
What stands? Smoking Jim, your joke's funny to you. They don't play this time of year. Baseball's over. See you in spring training. All right. Where are we even at on this? All right. It is officially VIP time.
Opinion: the Steelers are they're winning games. That's pretty much a fact. How they're
5 and
winning-
3.
How they're winning is a little shaky. I still prefer them to win, though. Matt Canada on the sidelines might be the biggest story that didn't need to be told. Anyway, George Pickens is clearly the big talk of everything, and yeah, Mike Tomlin said it's a pebble in my shoe hole, which is really interesting and not surprising, just interesting. But I've held the opinion for a little bit now that, especially after the Jacksonville Jaguars game, that George Pickens may not be getting the ball and may be suffering a little bit from being double covered because Deontay Johnson can't catch a football. And here's what I mean. If you're a defense and you know that, like, George Pickens has established that he has great hands and can catch a lot of wild passes. So you put two guys on him, you allocate more resources to that player in George Pickens, and then there's less of a chance he can catch a pass because you have two guys there and the Steelers don't want to target him. Part of that makes sense, especially after Deontay Johnson during the Jacksonville Jaguars game did more of those, drop passes, had more of those drop passes. And in that case, the defense isn't really going to hold Deontay Johnson as strongly to play because he's already established that he's not really going to catch many passes. George Pickens has established that. So I think that there's some sense to be made that the Steelers wouldn't target him because he's not open a lot due to those double coverages. If Deontay Johnson could catch the football and play like the money he's being paid worth, then maybe George Pickens could get more open because the defense would have to spread out and they couldn't afford to double cover him because they would have multiple elite receivers. But Deontay Johnson getting paid a lot, doesn't catch the ball every time. Defenses would bet more on George Pickens, and as a result, the Steelers aren't going to target him because he's got two or three guys on him more than half the time. So I understand some of his frustration. You want more targets. If he can't understand, though, that he's so much of a threat that defenses have to cover him more and that it's really the team around him, maybe, to bring up one of Chip's points, maybe he's frustrated because the rest of the team, the rest of the receivers are more pedestrian, or in Deontay Johnson's case, more harmful, that he's not getting the football because the rest of them aren't playing to make him weaponized. They're neutralizing him because they can't make the plays that he can, and in Deontay Johnson's case, he can't make the routine plays. Maybe that's why he's more frustrated, because in a better offense, whether it's better coached offense, whether it's an offense where the receivers can make the routine plays, he would get more targets because the defense wouldn't have to cover him most of the game. So there's a lot of reasons why he could be frustrated. The fact that he has to be double covered a lot, though, I would consider that personally as a player more humbling and more like, okay, this is cool. I'm good enough and I know I'm doing my part. Now, again, we do the I'm me society in this day and age, and not a lot of people can handle the patience that it requires or the team first approach that it requires to understand that and just keep playing through it. And so to get attention, George Pickens is going to delete a bunch of posts, unfollow Steelers members and the official account, and post free me. That's for attention. He wants people to know he's upset. And what better way in 2023 to express that you're upset than to turn to social media and do a bunch of dumb stuff like deleting things and unfollowing people? It's not because he won't play here. And that's why I think Tomlin says that's a pebble in my shoe hole, because really it's an attention ploy. He's not getting out of here anytime soon. The Steelers can't afford to bench him, and he understands he ain't going to play anywhere else if he gets benched. So it's really a mutual situation where he has to play to demonstrate that he's worthy of playing. The Steelers have to play him because if he's not on the field and the other receivers can't catch, they're not going to win football games. So whose fault is it? It's hard to say. If the receivers that aren't George Pickens stepped up a little bit, maybe defenses will be more worried about the entire field. But at the same time, team guy situation here. Stop complaining that you're winning football games. Oh, wow, that was a lot. That's the opinion.
I have to add a little bit to that long-winded opinion. Yeah. First, in general, I agree with you. Then I disagree. Did you see Kenny Pickett miss Pickens
I want to pretend.
by a mile on 2 plays? Did Pickens even allude to that or say that? No. But he's immature, so you're going to have yin and yang, not everybody agreeing or not equaling it out. Yeah. And when you watch Deontay, he's open whether he's double-teamed or not. Watch him.
But he doesn't get double-teamed.
Watch him. He's getting double-teamed more than Pickens. If you look at it, I watch both players. I watch the line. I see those things because they're outstanding. And I always was, doubtful with Deontay last year, but I realized we had QB trouble. Now that I see we have Broderick Jones in there, we could run a little, and we have a little time that Kenny can look right and then left. Before he could only look right and throw. So that's part of what I see, and you're generally right in it, but the specifics are odd.
Nick touched on some very valid points, and I do agree with most of what he said.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, and the young man does need one. But the quality of the quarterback play with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now is subpar at best.
Right, well, that's why I brought it up.
Pickett doesn't see the whole field, even though he's getting more. He's missing, not seeing wide open receivers. And
in the middle of the field.
And he's thrown it, and he's not very accurate. Now, I don't know what happened to him with his accuracy because
senior year at Pitt, he was accurate.
Even in practice, but there's a difference between practice
and
knowing
preseason.
you're not getting hit.
And preseason.
And then full speed in an NFL
point.
football game
Very good point.
where you've got guys trying to rip your helmet off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like T.J. Watt.
At some point, because think about this now, Kenny Pickett started 21 games.
Yeah.
He's had one game where he's thrown more than one touchdown pass. That is not going to cut it in this year in the NFL that we see right now.
Right, but you know what he's riding on? 7 wins in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
1/3 of his games, and I want to know how he can be so accurate in the fourth quarter.
Here's the question I asked to that. Is that sustainable? And that's the same question I asked in April with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Exactly. Great points. All right, thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. Just watch for a couple of these nuances, and we'll debate it next week.
I know against Jacksonville, Pickens was doubled more, but I didn't watch.
No, I've watched them all season.
Some of the best receivers in the league, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, double team every single play. And they find a way to get up. But then again, look at the quality of the quarterbacks.
And the quality of some of the other receivers they've got paired
know,
Throughout the
they
whole-
find a way to get open and make plays.
But you need your other receivers to be a
Oh,
threat.
You're absolutely correct.
Yes.
No, but your
Absolutely
points are
correct.
well taken. The specifics need a little observation.
Okay.
That's all. And Pickens did not complain about Pickett missing him a couple times.
Yeah,
He just unfollowed him. Oh,
right,
yeah.
right. No, I understand. All right, Paul Haley's checking in from Aruba. He's on his anniversary. He's been watching our show. Thank you for doing that. Chip Hayner's watching us now officially, so he got to that. We're going to go to On Location with 2 minutes to go. Let's see. On Location. First of all, Coliseum Combat Zone. First events postponed to March. We have regulations with the state that we have to get all the fighters in a time frame. We didn't do that, so we're able to delay it and postpone it to March. First couple Saturdays in March we're looking for. We have to get confirmation, so we'll put it out there. Any of you that I told you are going to get some VIP seats or to come visit us, we'll put that on hold and we'll have all the publicity out. We got more time to work on it. Mark your calendars, Millvale Community Center on the 18th. That's a couple weeks away. The 18th, we'll be there at the Millvale Community Center for Ray Schaefer Boxing Association. Always have a lot of great boxing and boxers there. And tickets are reasonable. Check it out in Millvale Community Center, Ray Schaefer Boxing Association. All right, I wanted to bring up Penguins won a game 10-2. They got a tough opponent tonight. Can they win 2 in a row? We need that team to come back and play some good hockey.
Anaheim beat them last week here with 15 seconds left in the game. They scored
A heartbreaker. I know, but they're on a streak again, too. Anaheim.
That game goes off way past my bedtime.
Yeah, well, hey, Chip, go to bed normally and then turn it on for the last period.
For updates when I wake
Okay,
up.
there you go. No, and, we're winding this down. Hey, thanks for all the comments and input. I don't see them all, as you could see. Chief, thanks for saying you voted for Smoking Jim. Luckily, you didn't say what for. We'll talk about that off the air because he is not registered again, unofficially.
Sanitation engineer.
Whoa. No. All the women that are his sweeties, they've told me he has the softest hands they've ever felt.
That's because he's never done a day's work in his life.
Well, that's why he's not a sanitation engineer. He may dress like one or two, but, we can't prove it because he has size 23 shoes. So we'll find that out. But thanks again for interacting with us. I hope we entertained you. I know I had some fun. And please stay Joey strong.